Okay. Let's go over the beginner Tesabaki for Katata Dori. A couple rules are going to play here. One is you need to have kwa, knee, foot alignment. Okay, that has to stay as a golden rule. Don't break it. Okay, and in Tesabaki, your kwa is going to connect with your elbow, meaning there's no time ever where the elbow and the kwa are moving independently of each other. Okay. This is my understanding of what Chiba used to try to get people to do. He would say elbow power. The elbow power comes from kwa elbow alignment. Okay. So that's one rule. And then the other rule we have to use is the dividing up of the torso. So this is like a human chest, okay? The head is up here. We have the midline going straight down the body, okay? And this is neither yin nor yang. And we have the outer shoulder line, that is yang. And then you have the mid-chest on both sides. And that is yin. Okay? And generally what you're going to do is your elbow is the marker, not your wrist per se. Okay? Your elbow is going to start on yang, so that on the yang line, which means your claw starts on the yang line. And then it will move from the yang line to the yin line, your elbow does, okay? And that'll put your wrist somewhere in this vicinity. And that means their grip is somewhere in this vicinity, okay? And only when your grab and your wrist and their grip, whatever is in this neither yin nor yang line, that's where the other hand comes into play and transitions, okay? At which point your elbow on your other hands, let's say they're grabbing my right hand, my right elbow will move to the yin line, my wrist, their grip is gonna move to that center line. That's when the other hand, my left hand, would come into play, take over, and move my elbow from the yin line back out to the yang line, and the same goes for my kwa. Okay? At no point should we ever be out here. We're never out here with our elbow, and we're never fuzzy either with this mid-chest. So if I don't want to move my elbow to here, it was supposed to go to here. I don't want to move it to here because now the grab is somewhere around here, and my other hand, which is taking over and moving from yin to yang, is over yin. Okay? So we'll keep those rules in mind as we go forward, and we'll do Gedan, Chudan, and Jodan for Katata Dori. Very, very basic. Okay, so we already know how to start in Hanmi, and we already know he's doing spinal displacement, okay? And so we already know too, Gedan is at the lower level but has this hand shape, the bottom portion of the outward spiral, okay? We know Chudan has this shape, it's middle level, but it's this shape. And then we also know that Jodan is up here on the top of the head and it has this shape, okay? Now we put it in Tesabaki. There's something that I do differently, and but I do it in all my Kihon. It's just not usually visible, as I've seen people go, oh, I like how you do that, let me try it. And then they do this other thing in terms of how they're understanding the relationship to Irimi Ashi. Okay, so usually there's no spinal displacement on that guy. He's just kind of standing there, or he's gripping really hard in place trying to hold me, in which case there's no need for any technique. And then it's my job as Nage to irimi and get myself to the back of that person. That's not viable, that doesn't work. And I have that XY mentality where eventually you're going to just be pushing or pulling in 180 degree opposition. So what I do instead is don't move. I don't move yet, I move him, okay? And then as he's moving me, if you pay attention, if you imagine looking down, he's gonna look like he's going around me, okay? I know it looks like he's just on a diagonal, like I'm going like that. But it's the beginning of the spiraling motion. He's going this way, okay? And so for Gedan, I bring the palm up and in, and now you're going to see my elbow goes from the quad line, from the yang line, my quad moves, and the grip's now in the middle of my body. That's where I touch it, okay? And I keep rotating and enter. Do it again. I don't move, he moves. Quad moves, the elbow to the yin line. Elbow on the yin line. Grip is on the center line. This hand's waiting for it. And I enter. Boom, boom. Notice how I shift my weight back. There's your yin yield. The quad turns. Boom. This kind of yonkyo keeps the circle going, so it keeps turning and it's making his hand do this, okay? So boom, hop, boom. When you come out of the grip, you pass through Chudan. So Gedan, pass through Chudan to escape the grip. My entering is again more perpendicular to his angle of attack, okay? I don't move up it. So you'll pay attention, I'm going this way behind him. Never reach across yourself. Bring it to your center line. Out you go. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so you're moving the elbow without your quad moving. Where does your elbow go? Yeah, in the middle of your chest. Turn your hips. Turn your hips. Again. Turn the quad, that moves the elbow. Good. Bring your grip to your middle. There you go. Enter on the turn. That's it. All right, so when you're working with circles, it's very important that you are moving what's going to feel like a head, so that you can make the transitions quickly, okay? And fluidity, okay? So my hand is already here waiting to catch that. I don't want to leave my hand down here and go like this, and then I catch it. It's not gonna work. So my hand is already moving to catch the grip, the wrist, on my center line. It already goes to my center line. You can see how I'm doing that. Okay? Likewise, and I don't know where you have to move to get this. Your irimi cannot go like, I'm going there. I'm going to put my foot right there. Because as I enter, this thing keeps rotating, you see, and now I'm pulling them back. In the same way, I don't know what that's called in the ball sports, but you gotta lead whatever you're doing. You gotta be ahead of whatever you're doing, so that you can catch the ball with fluidity. Okay. So my hand is already moving, and when I enter on that circle of where he's gonna be on that circle in the time that it takes me to get my foot on the completed portion of irimi-ashi. Okay? So everything is very fluid, fluid, fluid. Incorrect would be here, I wait, then I go past that. You see? And now I'm pulling them back towards me. Okay, put it together. All right, Chudan. So again, you can't just go to Chudan. So you have to start with Gedan, and you do the same thing. So that claw moves, the elbow comes into the yin line, and then the grip's in the middle. The other hand is here waiting for it, and this one goes over the top in this cutting-like fashion. But it's going to be the same thing. It has to be the inward spiral. And the two hands inward spiral together to get out. Again, just showing the handwork. It's going to start and get on. The elbow goes from the yang line with the claw to the yin line. The grip's now in the middle of my chest where the other hand is waiting. This does an inward spiral here. And they get out. Boom. And then the irimi-ashi is the same. Okay, so make sure, same strategy. Bring him in with your weight shifting. Your weight shifts, brings him in. The other hand is waiting, keeps him going, and you enter on that circle. Boom, boom. You're here underneath. Don't come back on top. You're underneath. Okay, let's try. Go slow. So we know we move the quad, moves the elbow. Good. Palm up, good. Touch at the midline. Don't move your right hand past your midline.
All right.
There, that all stays there, okay? And now, there we go. Circle, that's it. And again. Quad moves the elbow to the yin line. The grip will come to the midline. Good. Don't move. Don't move that left hand past your center line. Leave it there. Okay. Go. Yep. Good. Okay. So your elbow, your hand passes the midline. Okay. Go slower. Stay there. This hand doesn't keep going like that because now it passed, okay? this hand's gonna take over. So go back where you were. Okay, stay there. See how you keep wanting to pass it, okay? Let's keep our grip as we're training, okay? So watch what happens to this space right here. Go back. Move her arm. You see it gets smaller, okay? And you can't get it in there. So, and then you also have, because we crossed that midline, this is now only going to be reinforceable per the outer deltoid. So as she starts pushing in, your outer deltoid. So you don't cross your midline. It should be off on that hand. Get it in there. There you go. Okay, just a side note. Remember, I only have these movements. This is all I have. That's it. Your inward spiral and your outward spiral. Or for our pattern, you only have the heart shape. That's all you do, okay? So as I go here and I'm doing get on, you can see that that's the beginning of your outward spiral. What's maybe is not so clear is that this hand is going to do your inward spiral, but in reverse. So it's going this way, but because of the rotation, it comes around to the outside as opposed to in, okay? But it's still the same shape. So I'm going here, and I'm going to do the same shape with it working towards the outside. I'm not going to go here and I pull this. That's not the shape, okay? I keep the same movement here as if you're gonna come back for a knee. Same thing goes on Chudan. So as you're here like this, it goes this way doing the inward spiral. It doesn't go this way doing this chop, which we don't have, okay? This hand, again, continues with the inward spiral to get out. This hand goes here, this way, to get out. But this hand does the same inward spiral in the same reverse way. So I go rotating in, keeps it going, and keeps this shape as it goes around. Here, this way. This is incorrect. You are making shapes with your body, with your arms, using your elbows to govern what you're doing, okay? So you shouldn't be here, straight, here, no. This is where I was, I have that shape. So I'm gonna ask Taylor to do something weird so you guys can understand what's going on. My hand is in the Irimi Nage shape. So if he stuck his head under there, get under there. You see? That's the shape that I have. Okay? All right. Another note on Chudan, on the cutting hand. So this hand right here. All right. So you have to have the Aiki adhesion skill to get that thing to move. Otherwise, you're going to want to grab it. Otherwise, you have no effect on them. They won't keep coming forward. You'll have to over prioritize this hand. So there's just no way around that you, wherever you're touching, so here I got some here, I'm here, and I have to match that to keep that going, and as you go, it keeps going, okay? Don't look for cuts or hooks or all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really have to do it that long, but it does have to do it, meaning I only need it to go to here. Now I have the entry on the right angle, and then the other hand will assist. The two can assist, and most people that have any Aiki skills can definitely get it with two hands if they can't get it with one. Okay? All right, Jodan starts the same way. follows the same rules. So I don't enter, I shift my weight back, I turn my quad in, the elbow comes, and I start with Gedan. The grip now is on the midline, the other hand is waiting for it in Gedan. And again, together, the two hands will pass through Chudan and come around. And I do the same entry. So again, boom, waiting. Jodan starts underneath, okay? Jodan starts underneath and then goes up. Boom, boom, keeps them moving. In Jodan, you're on the outside. Don't be on the top. And don't be on the inside. You're on the outside. So your adhesion is out here on the outside. Cover yourself. Likewise, as you're doing this, you're going to have that same inward spiral, but it's being used going outward. Don't go here. We don't do those straight lines. Those won't teach me anything. Okay? All right, try it. Stop. Okay. What hand shape is this one?
The inward spiral sensor?
What hand shape? Gedan, Chudan, Jodan.
That's Gedan sensor.
Yes, but what level are you?
Jodan sensor.
Jodan, so that we don't want that. So let's go back, rewind the film.
Hi.
Okay. So I can be at Gedan level.
Hi.
And as I start to climb up the body, the hand rotates. Do you see?
Yes, sensei.
So on the first move, stay there. My elbow should be in to the yin line, the half chest.
Hi.
The grip then is on the center line. His grip, not your hand.
Hi.
Do you see? So pay attention. If you put your hand there and you have the space you're supposed to have in Katata Dori, do you get it? If you put your hand on your center line, your elbow is not on the mid chest.
Hi.
So you put your elbow there, and now his grip is what you want on the center line.
Right.
And it stays there. Here's where this hand comes in Gedan. And now as they go up, they pass through Chudan and rotate into the knife hand, which is Jodan.
Right.
Keep going.
Right.
Okay, got it?
Right.
All right. So those hand works is what you're doing energetically. Of course, those are the movement of Lao Gong is moving in that spiral rotation that starts the lower tanden field spiral rotating. These movements don't do anything. These movements do not rotate anything. Okay. So you're moving Lao Gong and using that kind of mudra-like aspect to spiral rotate. Martially, what you're doing is you're learning how to fight with your elbows inside your outer rim. My elbows never go outside my outer rim, and they're pretty tight to my body the entire time, okay, as you're moving. These movements together, you don't want to think of them only for Katata Dori, nor do you want to think about them only in hand transitions. So for example, we've done Shihonage, right? Well, as I take part of one hand transition and come around this way, I just did the Gedan on the same hand. So in other words, here we got that, and here's this, do you see? And I'm doing Gedan on the same hand on that one. So we did that, for example, in the Shihonage. It's right there, okay? However, that said, we do have a particular tactic that we did at the end. So we entered and we got to the back and controlled the neck, okay? And what we want to understand there is that was not so universal. I understand that it is ultimately universal, and I have to figure out how to use all these different hand and elbow and forearm shapes to do all of my pairing and all my trapping, and like you see in the Kokyu game, okay? But here, I'm in the back, I'm controlling the arm and I'm controlling the neck. It's kind of tactically specific, so certain rules come in. Whenever you're on the outside of the arm, you have to be above the elbow. You can't be below the elbow because you're not controlling the hinge and this thing can attack to the outside. That's kind of a general rule. So if I'm on the outside, you're always above the elbow, never below the elbow. If you're on the inside, it's the exact opposite. You want to be below the elbow, not above the elbow, because you can't check the arm weapon, okay? So, focusing in on that, you're going to see that it's solved in Gedan by I'm holding it. If you're holding it, it's not an issue. You are controlling the elbow in this case, okay? It starts to become relevant in Chudan. So as I go in here, you're going to see that I'm below the elbow. No matter how close I get, I'm going to be below the elbow if I obey all these rules. But once I start entering, you'll see that on the irimi and I turn, I'm now above the elbow, okay? Don't be out here below the elbow because you can't protect the groin strikes and things like that. You're above the elbow. So I'm doing Chudan, and you'll see that eventually I get myself above the elbow as I'm just going. Oh, sorry. Oh. No, this is incorrect. I gotta move above the elbow. Above the elbow, okay, where you check. And the same thing happens on Jodan, and you're going to Jodan. You might start out up below. Generally, tend to start out above because it's much closer technique. And you just want to make sure that you stay above and you don't go over here and unanchor your elbow because you have the same non-check going on there. So as I'm going, you'll see I move from here to here, which will happen naturally if you follow the elbow returns to the yang line. The only way you can not follow this rule is you brought your elbow outside. That's the only way you can reach that wrist. So for example, I keep this here. My elbow is in alignment with my shoulder. And if I take it out, that's the only way you can reach that wrist, okay? And then you unanchor your elbow and you can't control his elbow, you're vulnerable. So it goes back to follow our rules, okay? This elbow here has to stay with my shoulder, can't go out. Then you won't break that martial rule. If you're on the outside, contact is above the elbow, unless you're gripping the wrist, as in Gedan. If you're on the inside, contact is below the elbow.